my friends. Good Erev Shabbos. Happy Friday, followed by a beautiful, wonderful, and uplifting, inspirational Shabbos Kodesh. This is a very special Shabbos, because this is the Shabbos that precedes the holiday of Chanukah. It's very interesting to note that every single year, the Parsha, the weekly Torah reading of this week, falls out either the Shabbos before Chanukah or the Shabbos on Chanukah. And we know nothing happens for nothing, especially a Torah reading. So we need to figure out what is it that this week's Torah reading has something similar, something we can learn about Chanukah from the Torah. Well, this Torah reading talks about how the fight between the brothers, 10 of the sons of Yaakov, decided that Yosef deserved to either the death penalty or to be banished from the family. They felt, mistakenly so, that he was rebelling against the eventual kingdom that was coming from his brother Yehuda. And he felt that he was going to be the king, or that his descendants were going to be kings. And therefore they decided to have him executed. One brother, Reuven, decided on his own that he thinks they're making a mistake. But what's he going to do? They're not going to listen to him. So he said, let's put him in one of the boros, which means one of the pits, cisterns in the desert that people dig for water. It was empty. At least we think so at first glance. Put him in there and let him go. Why should we have his blood on our hands? Reuben's thought was, after everybody goes home, he'll take Yosef home back to his father, and everybody will be fine, and the brothers will get over it. But as the Talmud teaches us, there were snakes and scorpions in the bottom of this pit. Why in the world, Reuben, would you put your brother that you want to save into a pit with snakes and scorpions? And Reuben felt, I have no choice. If I say don't kill him, they won't listen to me. They may get angry with me. If I just grab him and bring him back, they'll pull him away from me. I have to do the best I can do. And right now, all I can do is put him in that pit and hope he's saved. Hope God agrees with me and lets him live. And that's exactly what happened. By natural means, Yosef should not have survived. Miraculously, although Reuben didn't bring him back to his father, he was sold against Reuben's will. Reuben wasn't there when it happened, but he lived because Reuben did his best, regardless of the odds. In the time of Chanukah, the family of Hashmonai, also known as the Maccabees, they were outnumbered. It was an impossible situation. When they first started fighting, there were only 6 of them. It grew to 12,000. But anybody knows that an army of 12,000, not soldiers, as I've said in so many different facilities this past week, 12,000 people who were so dedicated to living a Torah life that they had to go into hiding because the rest of the country that was under Greek rule made it impossible to be a dedicated Jew and live. It was against the law by threat of death to keep Shabbos, to learn Torah, to give someone a bris milah, a circumcision, to marry properly. all these things were threat of death if you did it. So they had to live in caves and eat nuts and berries in order to live a Torah life and to continue learning Torah. But they had enough, and they decided to fight. Fight? How is that possible? What are the odds? The mighty Greek army that's never beaten, that's victorious all the time. 400,000 soldiers were stationed in Israel. How can we fight? But they learned the lesson from Reuben, that he put his brother into a pit with snakes and scorpions and said, we got to do our best. We do what we can do, and let their Rebbeinu Shalom make the decisions. After the war, or after they had beaten the Greeks out of Jerusalem, they made it into the temple. And as we know, there was no oil to be burned. The Greeks made it a point to destroy all the oil that was kosher to use in the menorah. And miraculously, they found one jug with the seal of the Kohen Gadol, the high priest, on it. And there was an argument among the rabbis. In that jug was only enough oil to last one day. But if you were to ration it out, we could spread it out over a series of 8 days. It wouldn't burn as nicely and wouldn't burn as long. And in the meantime, we can send up a group of people to a place called Gush Chalav, all the way up in the northern part of Israel, where they make oil, I think, even till today. Nowadays, I'm sure it's only a 2-hour car drive on a nice highway. Then it was a 3-day journey there by camelback, a full day to make the oil, because when it came to the oil of menorah, only the first drop out of every olive was allowed for the menorah. After that, you use the olive for anything else you want. But only the first drop for the menorah is the clearest and the cleanest. So it took a full day to make the olive oil, and another 3 days to get back. And we're here on the first day. What do? So one group of rabbis said, let's ration it out. The other group said, no. Let's do what we've done. We went to war. We did our best. We did all we could do, and we let God make the decision of victory or not victory. And here we are. Let's continue to do all we can do our best, and let God make the decision, victory or not victory. And now you know the rest of the story, because they put all the oil in. They sent their people up to find oil in Gush Chalav, or to make oil, and they brought it back. And when they came back 7 days later, the oil was still burning. And hence we have 8 days of Chanukah to show us that everything is in God's hand. A very good friend of mine came up with this great idea. A great way to remember this lesson. We, human beings, we're in charge of the verbs. We have to put in the effort. We have to do the action. We have to try. But not always what we try to get done happens. That's because we're not in charge of the nouns, only the verbs. The nouns, that's God's job. Have a good Shabbos and happy Hanukkah.